Morning, everyone. Um, I think the topic I'm going to speak on is our business, how Genesis built the perception of brands, products, what our experiences are, what we learn from the business, and actually what differentiates us from others. Understanding the consumer is something that I can go on and on and on. I don't know if you know the background of Genesis, but we're in the lifestyle luxury space. We have two segments to our business. The first segment is our own brand, Satyapal, which is now 27 years old this year. We've been running the business for about 10 years now. And the second part of our business is we're either JV partners or franchisees of a host of luxury brands, including brands like Burberry, Armani, Jimmy Choo, Canali, Paul Smith, etc., etc. I still remember some of the initial brands that we took over. Two of the brands that we took over 3.5, 4 years ago were Bottega Veneta and Jimmy Choo. We took it over from the erstwhile Murjani family. And, in most fashion businesses, you have a carry forward business and you have a fashion business. Bottega being the Italian Hermes, the current partners were really investing a lot of money on the products of the carry forward styles. And they believe that these styles would never go on sale, where actually the Indian consumer buying that product was the ultra high net worth consumer that was buying a fashion product. So they would really wanting to be investing in the newest product of what is there. Or in the case of Jimmy Choo, where the buyer, an Italian buyer, believed that India has this large wedding market, so let's cater to a lot of wedding shoes. Now in the West, people get married in ecrus and creams and all shades of off-white. But in India, we get married in red and pink and green and purple and every color of the rainbow you can think. How do you really understand consumers? What do they want? How do you get them to open up their pockets? When we talk about our luxury businesses, we've heard of national averages in the metros of sales per square foot of about 1,000 rupees a square foot a month. Our average in our luxury business is actually 5,000 to 6,000 rupees a square foot, right? So there must be something that we're doing different to get consumers to spend. And I always say one thing: understand the consumer, understand the consumer, understand the consumer. So without trying to give out trade secrets, we have built a great CRM program. We have more than 4 lakh customers that are buying our products on a regular basis. And really designing the strategies around them. That's what the key part of our business is. It helps that we have a portfolio of brands. We have leveraged this across many markets. We've got another key thing is obviously the access to the right real estate at the right prices, a strong distribution place, and marketing initiatives. I think one of the things that differentiated us, luxury came into India really with the onset of malls like Emporio in Delhi, UB City in Bangalore, Palladium in Bombay, which is really a 4 or 5 year old phenomenon. Lastly, and most importantly, is pricing. Good old Indians, like all of us in the room, tend to compare prices with the lowest home cost. So if they compare a European brand, it would be with Milano Paris. If they compare an American brand, it would be with the United States. I think one of the things we've managed to do is we've managed to keep pricing in India within par to 15% of home country. And to add that on, we added India-specific products. At a particular level, the market's relatively inelastic. In the current financial year that we're going to end, we are working at about same-store sales growth of mature stores at about 21%. That's fairly healthy in the retail business. All our stores, most of our stores, the average EBITDA of our stores is in excess of 20%, right? So it's not about really the size of the market right now, because, if India does 25% of what China does, it'll be a very large market. And I get asked this question all the time, and just now at coffee also, I was talking to Diksha, and she says, I said, don't ask me the size of the luxury market, because I don't know, right? And there are lots of estimates about it. But look at those healthy numbers. If you're growing same-store sales growth in excess of 20%, you have a fairly healthy EBITDA margins. Indians are spending. There's a feel-good factor. If you go to the malls, you go to Select City Walk out here, you go to Emporio, you go to Promenade, you go to Palladium in Bombay. There are throngs of people who are willing to spend for the right product if they feel special about it. And lastly, we provided customized solutions, which typically does not happen in the West, leveraging the great Indian wedding. Everybody knows weddings, the phenomena of weddings in India. Suddenly, everybody looks very rich. Every time I attend a supplier's daughter's wedding, I think I'm paying him too much. But that's the concept of weddings in India. And lastly, home shopping. How many Indians love home shopping? It's not an integral part of the business, but frankly, because we do provide home shopping, It gives that kicker to someone who knows it's available when he wants. So I think really the mantra around this is, how do we go out and create brands? We understood the consumer, we provided him a special experience and a special shopping experience to make it different.